In this video, I'm going to show you how to put the Jardin de Roses folio kit together. We're going to add our pockets, and we have some ephemera in here. We're going to add a closure. Stay tuned. This is going to be a good one. You will also find timestamps on the screen to forward you to the places that you are ready to go to. So if you want to skip the showing of the printables, what pages to print, what size, what papers, stock, that kind of stuff, you can skip right over to the assembly. There are 6 pages, and we're going to do cardstock today. So this is page 1. This is the outside of our folio, and you're going to print on the other side using page 5. So you're going to print on the other side. This is going to turn into the inside of our folio kit. This is page 2. You're going to cut these out. These are our pockets. This is page 3. These are ephemeras and tags. You'll also see this is an inside flap. We're going to add that to the folio as well. We're also going to do an envelope. This is page 4. And again, you're going to print on the back using page 5. And that is this one right here. That is our page 5. And page 6 is more ephemera and tags and another smaller envelope. We are going to print on the back of this one as well using this number 5. So what I want you to do is go ahead and cut everything out, except I don't want you to cut out page 1 yet. I want to score this, and I want to show you how to do this. You're going to get your scoreboard, and you will see here there are dotted lines. That is where you're going to score. Okay? So you line up these dotted lines to one of the scores, ridges. Here we go. And now this one. You can use, we are doing cardstock today, but you can use 32-pound bright white paper. 32-pound paper is a cardstock, or sorry, not a cardstock, but it is a printer paper, copy paper, but it's just a little heavier than a 28-pound. Now you're going to go ahead and cut this out. Now we're going to fold on the score lines. You're going to use your bone folder. Just like that. So now we've got the base of our folio. I'm going to add some ink to this. Everything I'm using, you'll see below in the comment area or the description. And I'll have that all linked up for what I'm using. But I do use the vintage photo. I pretty much, this is what I use all the time. What I like to do is I'll cut everything out, and then I'll just go around and do all of this at the same time. And I am going, because I'm using cardstock, I am going to use the scoreboard, fold, and you're going to get your scoreboard out. And what these are called gussets. And what we're going to do is fold them, and that's what we're going to put glue in, or glue on. Let's get all these done. Of course, this folio kit, this printable kit, printable collections, all kinds are on the website. If you are a printable member, you already have these in your collections. Like I said, if you're using 32-pound paper, a lot of times I will just fold it on my own. And I do believe this is a 60-pound cardstock. I wouldn't go anything heavier than a 60-pound cardstock. And we're just going to fold it. Just like that. And we're going to take our ink and just add a little bit of vintage. This part is optional, but you'll see me do this all the time, especially if you see a little bit of white here from your printer. That's what I love about paper. Okay, so that's what we need to get everything started for our inside of our folio kit. All right, so everything has been inked, been folded. I am going to be using fabric tack. This is what I prefer to use. The reason I use the fabric tack is because it is not a water base, so it will not pucker the paper, and it gives you a nice clean finish. But use whatever you like, but just find if you're using a lot of that water-based glue, you have to wait for it to dry as well. So we're taking our larger piece and we're going to put it on this side. And when you go to do this, you want to get into the corner, line this up here, and just bring it down. It's another reason why I like this glue. You never want to use hot glue for this. Okay, so we're going to just press that down, and literally it will be dry in seconds. And then what I like to do is I take my bone folder and I just make sure that I haven't squeezed any out and it's not sticking anywhere. Then we're going to take our next curved piece. We're going to put it down here. Line that up onto one of the corners. Now what you want to remember, you want to be aware of is that you can fold your pieces. So this folds over and this folds over. Sometimes you have to move it around a bit just to get it right, but you want to make sure that you can fold everything. See, it's a little tight. So I'm going to bring this in a bit. Well, press that down. we go. Okay. And then this third one goes right on the top above it. You can put these wherever you want. Once you've made a few of these, you really can get quite creative. We're going to line this up here. I don't want it too high up or my ephemera is going to stick out. And again, make sure I can fold everything. This is where folding it correctly is important. If you don't fold on those lines, it might make it too big. Okay, that folds. All right. Sometimes in my folio kits, I will sometimes give you an extra piece that you can cut out and put on the inside. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this out, and we're going to add that to here, but you can leave this just like it is if you like. We're going to now add our inside flap. Now what you want to do is you want to line this up with that fold. When you're using this glue, you get to move it around a little bit. So I'm going to line that up, and then I'm going to make sure it folds. Usually you have to go up a little bit. Because we're using cardstock, this is now becoming very, very thick. Like so. Okay. Then we're going to turn it over and we're going to trim it. We're going to take our ink and re-ink the inside. Go. All right, so our folio is put together with our pockets and our inside. Now we're going to switch over and we're going to pull out the ephemera. So you're going to cut out all your ephemera and let's put those together. These are all the pieces that come with your kit. Get some beautiful birds. I love the birds. We've got the envelope and we've got the top piece. So now I've already gone ahead and got these ready, but I'm going to show you with these here. Now this is optional. You can corner. I like to round the corners. I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to do the exact same thing to this one. I'm going to ink everything up. I like to put some music on when I'm doing this, get it all cut out. Like I'll cut everything out. Do any kind of folding I need to, add my ink. Sometimes I add ribbon, sometimes I'll add a grommet. I'll show you how to do that today. Okay, so we've got all our ephemera. Now you'll see this one I didn't. Sometimes I will leave it square, and I did that with this little bird here. Let me show you the envelope, how to put the envelope together. You can take it and score this along if you'd like. There is lines here, but it's pretty simple because you're going to fold right up until this line here. I'm just going to fold that. And of course you have printed on the inside, so on the back side. And what's fun with the envelope designs is you can reverse these. So once we got that all folded, let me just, before I score it, I like to make sure it's all, I folded it properly. There. I'm just going to score our line for our folds. Take our ink, and we only really need to ink on the inside of this flap. And sometimes you might have to do this. You might see this part. So you will see here, this is your side flaps. That's going to come up, and this is going to be your top flap. Now, if you like, you can reverse this. So this would be your outside, and this would be your inside. Okay, so you can do that with this design. One little trick I want to show you is when you go to add your glue here, you want to add your glue on this flap, and we're only going to add the glue up to about right here. Okay, I'm not going to come up all the way over here. You can, but what this is going to allow me to do is be able to fold this over and scoot that in there. Okay, so if you want to be able to tuck this in, then you got to make sure you leave this open from clear of the glue. And you can send this into the postal. All right, just like that. And then again, I just like to make sure the glue didn't move out. Now we have a beautiful envelope. Look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? And that will just pop right in there. Or you could add a little Velcro tab in here if you wanted. Anything you like. And then what I love about, like, anytime you get a folio kit from me, you'll always get an envelope, because now you can print your ephemera pieces. You can print these as many times as you want. Print these as many times as you want. So you can print these out. Say if you want to send these out to a friend, so easy, okay? Or even store your extras in here. So we have these all done. The same thing for the smaller envelope is the exact same way to put together, okay? Now I think let's add some ribbon, and let's do a grommet with this one. I'm going to take my crocodile, and I'm going to punch a hole. Bring this up a little. In the middle. You do not need to put a grommet in. Sometimes I add them, sometimes I don't. Give that a squeeze. And now we have a really cute little tag with the grommet. We've got the back. I'm also going to ink the back up, because this is where you can put a message or verse, positivity verse, a Bible verse. You know, this can be a tag for birthday gift or shower gift, anything like that. So let's do another one. Let's do maybe Let's do this one. And I'll show you that you actually don't need a grommet. So if you don't have one of these, just use a regular hole punch. And we're going to add some ribbon in there. Get a piece of ribbon. Because really, once you add the ribbon, you really don't see the grommet. And if you're using cardstock, you really don't need, it's not like you need it for protection or anything. Just like so. I'm just going to turn that. Okay, so there's a tag there. And let's add another piece of ribbon to this. You could also use, let's use this one. It's just a piece of lace that I have. Lace, fabric, piece of material, bed sheets. Really get creative with what you're using. Okay, so there we go. Let's put this together. Now this piece here, you can use it for the inside. I like to, a lot of times I will print this page twice and I will add it in here. So I've got a really big journal spot. Sometimes I'll also add it here. Now on this folio, it already is pretty beautiful. Like we already got a really nice look here, but you can add it here. You can also add it on the back. And then you could make pockets out of this as well, right? But for today, we're just going to pop this in here like so. And let's put our little bird in here. Now you could have it this way. I think this looks nice this way too. I'm going to actually turn that around. And our little bird there. And you'll see these smaller ones I like to stick in here. And take our other little bird. Pop our other little bird in there. And then we've got some more little tags. Let's put this over here. You can add these any way you like. Then we can take our envelope, pop our envelope in here. Let's add that. So you could have a nice little letter or something in there. That would be super cute. I'm going to leave that there, like the little bird peeking out. I think that's super cute. Okay, that's going to fold over. Isn't that sweet? I love this. Now you can get even more creative by adding more things to here if you like. You could take your little envelope that you make. You could glue it on here. I'm just going to pop it in here. Just hide that in there. All right, let me show you what I like to use to close this. Now there are different ways to make a closure. This is one of the simplest ways. So I'm going to show you today is I just buy these at the dollar store now. They're not all created equal. These are actually really good quality. If you don't have a good quality, if like the sticky's not very sticky, you can add a little bit of glue to this. But this is in pretty good condition. I don't need to add anything. So you have two pieces, the top and the bottom. I'm going to fold this over. And I want it to fold right in here. So I'm going to take one of the sides, take this, add I think it's called loop and something. I don't remember. I'm not a big sewer, guys. Put that on there, fold that over, give that a good press. And now it folds. Easy peasy. Okay? Just like that. So now we have a really adorable folio. Let me know in the comments below if you are going to be making this. You can learn more about the page. You can also check videos on my page for other folios, all the other printables. Using printables is the easiest way to create beautiful crafts. Thank you for joining me. We'll catch you on the next video.